Josh Ross. Welcome to Hot Country, Josh. How are you?
Thank you. Appreciate you guys having me. I'm doing great.
I've been personally very excited. We, as a Hot Country, we have been excited because we hear you, we see you. And before we get to your incredible summer lineup, we want to know a little bit more about you. I mean, top 5 Canadian country radio with your first 2 singles, First Taste of Gone, On a Different Night, since signing with Universal Music. Let's take this back to the night that you were leaving for Nashville. I mean, you have quite the story. So tell us about that night.
Yeah, it's been a journey. I mean, I moved to Nashville in 2019. Nashville actually got hit by a tornado, and the night that I moved and kind of officially got my stuff there. I'd been taking trips for almost about a year at that time, and somehow the night I decided to move to town is the night that Nashville got hit by a tornado, and then the COVID situation happened, and I came back home for a little while, and then I've been in Nashville kind of since the middle of COVID, since then, and it's been definitely a fun journey of figuring out, making Nashville home.
Yeah, and like life, it always throws, detours along the way. You're talking about bad weather, the global pandemic, obviously relationships here and there. We can all relate to that. Don't worry. I mean, right now, how are you feeling? I mean, looking back at that first moment a couple of years ago to now, did you ever think that you're going to be hearing your name? You're going to be joining other artists on stage all over country radio. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I think part of me always, this is what I was dreaming about, and I felt like I was doing this for, I guess, maybe a reason, and I guess maybe these are the reasons. But to pinpoint, what's going on right now, and the tours and the shows and the songs, I don't think I could ever really, fully predicted. But it's so awesome just to kind of watch the last year and a half things kind of fall into place, and honestly, I'm just so lucky. The tours have been so far so awesome, and I can't wait for the rest of the year.
Yeah, now it's time where we're going to do some name dropping. So you opened 3 sold out shows for Bailey Zimmerman at the start of the year. And right now you're currently with Lee Brice, his tour, then Nickelback, Brantley Gilbert, and then we're going to see you at Boots and Hearts. Wow. Is there anything that you're just not doing?
It's a lot of dates this year. It goes from, I think the most shows I played in years, maybe like real festivals and stuff like that, maybe like 20, 30 shows. And this year we're probably going to be closer to 100 shows. And it's just awesome. I mean, for years I've just dreamed of, I've always just said, just put me on a bus and put me on the road and let me go meet people and play shows. And I guess I get my wish this year. So it's awesome. No, the Lee Brice tour has been so phenomenal, and just hanging out with him and his crew and watching, just how he interacts with the crowd and how he treats the crowd and how he talks to them, and, even brings up myself and brings up Tennille, and how he incorporates that into his own show is just really, really awesome. And it's been kind of the best, I would say, almost like boot camp for me to gear up for the Nickelback stuff.
That is amazing. Let's go back to little you. When did you know that it was country music that you were destined to be in?
I mean, I always loved country music. It's a very interesting situation because my parents were more like, my mom was like Bruce Springsteen and U2, and my dad was, hard rock, 90s rock, whether it be like Goo Goo Dolls or Guns N' Roses and stuff like that. But then I had some family friends that really liked country music, and particularly a guy named Steve Earle, and I fell in love with Steve Earle songs really early on. I was probably like 4 or 5 years old, and he had Copperhead Road and Guitar Town, and songs that I guess just moved me in a different way. And for a lot of years, as I was growing up, country music maybe wasn't like the cool thing or the young hip genre. And once I got into high school, next thing you know, people started listening to country music, and it became like a thing. I remember people being like, check out Thomas Rhett and Jason Aldean and all these other kind of things going on. And I already knew kind of all that stuff because that's what I've always, I really enjoyed listening to. And so once that kind of happened, it was really cool. And but it was always sports. Everything was sports for me until honestly the later years of high school, and then kind of halfway through university, and then that's when I kind of found the actual performing side and writing and all that kind of stuff.
So multi-talented country singer, songwriter. You play sports. Tell us what's your favorite sport that you play?
My favorite sport, honestly, of all time is motocross. I did that for almost 15 years, and probably the most dangerous sport. But it's something about being on the bike and kind of doing that whole thing and flying through the air and all that. I do really do miss that. I think I kind of get that same thrill from being on stage and experiencing that, but definitely miss that. And then football was, I think, the main priority in the last sport that I really got to play. And yeah, I was just thankful for my time at Western University and kind of what that turned into. So it's awesome.
This all makes sense. You're saying motocross, football, you decide to go to Nashville the night of a tornado. There's a global pandemic, the rush of being on the stage. Well, Josh, Hot Country has fallen in love with you. Can you tell us a little bit about the new single coming out, Trouble?
Yeah, it reminds me a lot. I think the best people what's it like and what does it mean to you? And it means to me like it's kind of like the first Tasty Gone situation for me, where I feel like being vulnerable, being very true to a situation that I was in, and I had moved to Nashville and I was experiencing, one, being in a different country, and two, not having family around me and going through a breakup, and going out and kind of in a darker place, I guess is the best way to say it. And the story behind Trouble's true. My buddy Mason Thornley, that I wrote First Tasty Gone with, I wrote Trouble with, and he had the idea of like, is it I'm in trouble, or baby I'm trouble, or like what is it? And one night I went out and I came home, and I ended up calling the girl that I was broken up with at the time, and I called her, and I remember like literally saying to her on the phone, it's like, I feel like I'm in trouble, and if you could you come back home? And that ended up being kind of the hook for the song, and baby I'm in trouble. And it's just real, and it's my favorite song that I've written to kind of to date, and the most I enjoy playing it live a lot. It's just got a lot of different elements, and I feel like kind of lets people get to know me even more. So
wow, did you find it hard, cowboy country music, being a man singing and being vulnerable and letting us in? Did you find that was kind of a transition? Like, do you feel like, I mean, normally, it's females, and we're talking about our relationships and what he did, what he didn't do, and we're upset. Yeah. But you are getting really honest and raw with us. How was that?
Yeah, I think honestly, like for me, First Tasty Gone was the first time that I was just like, this is how I'm feeling, and this is, whether how sad I am or whatever it was, like, I just want to be honest with people. And then all of a sudden, that was the song that kind of moved things to start. And then on a different night was, kind of the same thing, like in the sense of, it felt obviously more like of a party song and stuff, but it was still that theme of like, I was here with you on a different night. And Trouble again is like, it's just organically how I feel, and a literal moment that happened in my career, or in my life. And yeah, it is interesting being emotional, but I feel like for my entire life I've always been that kind of person to like tell people how I feel, and be the first person to be emotional. And sometimes it sucks, but I feel like in certain situations it's kind of what has made me, I guess, be me. So it's awesome.
Well, thank you so much. We look forward to getting together in person at one of your concerts. We want to say congratulations. More success we know is coming your way. And thank you for taking time to hang out at the Hot Country Hangout.
I appreciate you guys for having me very, very much.